The Thinker, one of the most recognizable sculptures in the world, was created by the French sculptor Auguste Rodin in the late 19th century. It depicts a man deep in thought, his chin resting on his hand, and his elbow on his knee. The sculpture is often used as a symbol of philosophy and intellectualism. Rodin originally created the Thinker as part of a larger work called The Gates of Hell, which was inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. The figure was meant to represent Dante himself, contemplating the Inferno. But as Rodin continued to work on the sculpture, it took on a life of its own, and he realized that it could stand alone as a powerful work of art. Today, the Thinker can be found in museums and public spaces around the world, including the Musée Rodin in Paris, where it is one of the most popular attractions. The sculpture has been the subject of countless articles, books, and documentaries, and it continues to captivate audiences with its timeless appeal. The Thinker is a masterpiece of sculpture because of its incredible detail and realism. You can see every muscle in his body, every line on his face. And yet, it also has a sense of abstraction and universality that makes it relatable to people from all walks of life. Rodin was known for his innovative approach to sculpture, which emphasized the important and emotion. He often worked with live models, using their bodies as inspiration for his sculptures. In the case of the Thinker, Rodin used a local bricklayer named Auguste Rodin as his model. One of the things that makes the Thinker so fascinating is that it can be interpreted in so many different ways. Some people see it as a symbol of intellectualism, while others see it as a representation of the human condition. Rodin himself said that it was meant to represent the process of thinking, rather than any particular person or idea. Whatever your interpretation, there's no denying that the Thinker is a work of art that continues to inspire and captivate people more than a century after it was created. Whether you encounter it in a museum, a park, or a classroom, the Thinker invites you to contemplate the mysteries of life and the universe in your own unique way. The Thinker represents the act of thinking itself. It's not just about contemplating a specific idea or problem, but about the process of thinking itself. This is what makes the sculpture so universal. Everyone, regardless of their background or beliefs, has experienced the act of thinking and reflecting. Moving the Thinker is a complex process, given its size and weight. The sculpture weighs over 700 kilograms and stands over 6 feet tall. When it was originally created, it was cast in bronze, but other versions have been made using different materials, including plaster and marble. I've always been drawn to the Thinker because it represents something that's so universal, the act of thinking. When I see the sculpture, it reminds me to slow down and reflect on the world around me. It's like a visual cue to take a step back and ponder the big questions in life. Although the Thinker is often viewed as a standalone work of art, it was originally created as part of a larger piece called The Gates of Hell. This work, which was never completed, was meant to depict scenes from Dante's Inferno. The Thinker was intended to be one of the figures adorning the top of the gates. Rodin was a master of capturing movement and emotion in his sculptures. The Thinker is a prime example of this. Even though the figure is seated and appears to be still, there's a sense of movement and tension in his body. You can almost feel the energy emanating from the sculpture. The Thinker has been reproduced in countless forms, from keychains to t-shirts to full-scale replicas. But no matter where you encounter the sculpture, its power and significance remain the same. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of art that a piece created over a century ago can continue to inspire and provoke thought today. As you can see, the sculpture depicts a muscular, nude figure seated on a rock, his chin resting on his hand, lost in thought. But what is he thinking about? And why has this sculpture become such an enduring symbol of human introspection? To understand the Thinker, we need to know a little bit about the man who created him. Auguste Rodin was a highly influential sculptor in his time, and he was deeply interested in the human form and its expressive potential. In fact, the Thinker was originally conceived as part of a larger work called The Gates of Hell, which depicted scenes from Dante's Inferno. Rodin intended for the figure to represent Dante himself, pondering the horrors he was witnessing. In his own words, Rodin said, "What makes my thinker think is that he thinks not only with his brain, with his knitted brow, his distended nostrils and compressed lips, but with every muscle of his arms, back, and legs, with his clenched fist and gripping toes." The Thinker is a true masterpiece of art, a sculpture that has transcended time and continues to be relevant to people of all ages and backgrounds. It invites us to contemplate the mysteries of life, the universe, and the human experience. As we gaze upon this iconic sculpture, we can't help but wonder, what thoughts are passing through the mind of the thinker?